Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Tuesday here in Melbourne. Because let's go up to our friends up in the nation's capital who, yes, unfortunately they're in lockdown as well, just like the rest of us in the eastern seaboard. And, of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now from the Belconnen Magpies Football Club. Of course, they're both of them are our ambassadors and player sponsors for this year, and their names Amber and Jackie. Thanks both for joining us.
For having us again.
Thanks for having us. Good to see you.
No worries. Well, you got a season underway, but didn't really complete it due to the lockdown. I guess, how was the season going up to lockdown?
Not as well as we'd probably hoped for. We were in the end we finished up third, was it?
Yeah, I think that's
percentage. Right. So there was one game that got washed out that kind of pushed us to that third on percentage because I guess we were technically equal second, but third due to the percentage. So that was a bit disappointing having that result. There's Maddie.
Cameo from my housemate.
Yeah, no, it was a bit disappointing in the end, but we're kind of just hoping that we get to finals and we'd be able to come together like we did at the end of the season and then pull something off again. But yeah, just a disappointing kind of end with the halt of the season into the cancellation. But yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think like having won last year, obviously, we then were at the top and had a lot of pressure to perform and live up to that kind of thing. And other teams were kind of hunting us versus us being the underdogs. And it was really hard kind of thing. So it was, I think, a bit of a shock throughout the season kind of thing when we did lose because we thought we were still on the top. So yeah, I think we probably learned a lot from this season and it will come really good towards the end. And it would have been exciting to see what we could have done in finals. But yeah, disappointing we didn't get to finish.
Mentioned about finishing in third after the home and away season, technically after your home and away season. Obviously, no winners really because the season got cancelled. So you're technically still the defending champions for another year.
Yeah.
Even though obviously with 2021 being cancelled, forget about this year. Sort of kept that as a sort of like a learning curve year and then go into 2022 and just do like you normally would do in 2020 and try to climb up that ladder?
Yeah, definitely. I think in a way like this is a bit of a circuit break for us. Like we've had a couple of long seasons, really disrupted with like wet weather and stuff like that, even a couple of lockdowns. I think this will give us like a good time off. We can come back next year and I think everyone's going to be so keen and really excited to just be around each other and stuff like that, we're all going to gel really well as a team and we're going to play some good footy. So looking forward to that.
That's exactly right. I feel the exact same. I feel like that's the general kind of feel from the team. In the end, we had a lot of crap weather, just a couple games that was really disappointing. It was just a kind of a sad end of the season, but I guess we kind of needed it. Now we can look forward to next season.
Perfectly described by you, Amber. It was a pretty. I think there was like what 3 or 4. there was about what 3 or 4 weeks worth of complete washout. And then obviously it ended with a lockdown. Which obviously cancelled your season completely. What do you take out of the season?
I think probably like I was saying at the start, like we learned what it's like to be at the top and have other teams really hungry and coming for us. And I think that was kind of tough, but I think it kind of tested like resilience and our character and our talent as well and our structures and stuff like that. So massive kind of learning year. I think we just like reset, refresh for next year. And yeah, have a good year next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I think last time I had both of you on the show earlier this year, I think both of you were in preparation for a rep game, I think on the border, I'm pretty sure, which seemed to be a long time ago now, seemed to be a long time ago since then. I guess how did both of you go in that and how good was it to make the trip down to Wagga?
Yeah, got canned.
Oh.
Yeah, COVID. That wasn't just
Yeah.
another tick in the box on how to ruin a season. So yeah, it didn't go ahead. So probably not too
I think
great.
they like postponed it at one point
Yeah.
and rescheduled, and then they had to call it off again.
Yeah, they
so
postponed
disappointing.
it because it was too close to the Melbourne. It was in between Melbourne and Canberra. So it was just kind of not worth the risk, and then got cancelled in the end. So,
Yeah, disappointing.
yeah. But
I think they're going to try to do some stuff next year, I think, is the intention. So
yeah.
Okay, so my follow-up question onto that is, was it worth going to rep training worth it?
Yeah, I actually found it so cool. So I haven't been involved in anything like that before, and just like the pace and the skills and stuff was insane. It was so cool, and the energy and stuff from everyone, and seeing different people's leadership styles and being exposed to different coaches and stuff was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just getting to get to know a few of the other girls around the comp, and then I guess when you did have to play against them later in the season, you kind of knew what they were good at. So I don't know, looking at it, like, benefited. I felt personally like it just benefit on the field stuff later in the season, but also, yeah, really nice to get to know a few other people around the competition.
Obviously, you would have ended up had to verse against them anyway, most of them. Now, I believe, I'm just trying to think who finished on top. I think it was Ansley that finished on top. I guess, how did you fare against them throughout the year?
The start of the year, we beat them by a fair bit. So I think
pumped them by 50 or 60, wasn't
it? Yeah, something like that. It was pretty like walk in the park kind of game. But then the next time we played them, we probably went in off the back of that thinking it would be a bit of an easier game. It was a really wet weather game. It was real muddy, heavy. And that just suited Ansley. They're just their never say die attitude. Just got them over the line in the end. We were winning majority of the game, and then just kind of back end of the game just kind of carked it, and everyone got in their own head, I think, of it. And it ended up being quite a disappointing game. And then when we played them for the third time, I just don't think we took them seriously enough, and we thought, well, that was one game, wet weather. We know how we can play against them, and then same thing happened. A few of their players just stood up, and they played together as a team really well, and just embarrassed us. And they definitely deserve the minor premiership. They had an unbelievable season. So it was a really big credit to them where they ended up. I think that was minor premiers for the first time in years and years. So it was great for them. A bit disappointing for us, but yeah.
Now, I think you've had maybe 2 or 3 players that have played their milestone games throughout the year. I guess tell us who those players were, and I guess how important they've been throughout their time at Belconnen.
Oh, you're testing us. I know Adol had a 50th.
Adol, I remember. Yeah. Tian might have been one. Mags?
Yep.
Yeah. Just a lot of the younger girls that have played with us. It's really nice to see kind of the increments of when girls have started playing. Like Whip and I had our 50 games throughout the same season just because we started with the Magpies at the same time. We had a few girls that started that year. So we've kind of got a few blocks of 50 game increments that we go through over the years. But a lot of the younger girls that we had coming through that have played their 50th game this season have been playing with us since they were 15. So I think Tian Reid who played her. Yeah, she definitely did play her 50th game. Yeah. She was the youngest the record holder for the youngest player to have played first at 15 6 months, I think it was.
Mm.
But a lot of the girls were playing around that age range as well. Maggie Gorham ended up being Giants' #1 draft pick a few years ago, and ended up coming third in the Bainborough medal just this week that passed, so over the weekend. So just some unbelievable girls who have played with us since they were in their juniors playing. What were they doing? They were playing with us first grade on the Saturday and then going and playing under 18s footy and winning by 100 points on the Sunday. So there is just a specific core group of girls this year that have seen a lot of success and are just unbelievable players. And we were really relying on them throughout the season from when they first started playing. Like Adol, who'd played her 50th game this year, like unbelievable speed. It's just kind of the one where you like, or just kick it out to the wing, Adol can run and get it. So really girls that we rely heavily on and we always have. And yeah, it's really awesome to see them make 50 games this year.
About the AFL Canberra Awards night. That was this week, or actually it might have been last week. I guess, did both of you feature in any of those awards, or Team of the Year or something similar along those lines?
We both got a couple of votes. I don't know how many, but I don't know. I think we polled in a couple of games each probably. But then we had, who'd we have? We had Maggie and Ali finish equal third.
Maggie and Ali came equal third, yeah.
And then Tash was top 10 as well, was she? Maybe.
I think she might have just been out of
maybe
top 10.
Maybe I made that up. She should have been top 10.
Yeah.
And then there's a handful of other Belconnen girls that polled as well, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, no Team of the Year this year. The last 2 years they haven't done one. I guess just due to what's been happening. So yeah.
I guess my next question I'm going to ask is, considering there was no real premiership this year, considering the season was cancelled, so you technically are the defending champions for another year, as I mentioned early on. How does that sit with both of you?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah.
Like it's nice that we still get to keep the trophy and stuff, but it's also kind of, it makes you think we have this title, but we ended up coming third through before the season was cancelled. Like, we really got to kind of lift our socks up for next season if we want to kind of claim that title that we're defending premiers, because we didn't really play like we were this season. So yeah, I guess it's a lot of pressure for us to hold, but we need to perform. But I think we kind of understand that now after this season, and hopefully we can go into next season with a better mindset.
I mean, it's great that we did that and everything, but I think what we should be remembering is probably that last Ansley game where, like Amber said before, we got pumped a bit. It should have been our day kind of thing. It was good conditions for us, and it was massive oval that suits us and stuff like that. Didn't quite go as well as we wanted. And yeah, I think we should be kind of remembering that and wanting to show what we can do to the comp and even to ourselves and our coaches and stuff like that. We need to step up and show everyone what we can do.
Tell us a couple players in your team that had just an awesome year.
My top one was probably Victoria Thompson. She's always had a bit of damn it. She's always had a bit of like mongrel in her and had like this awesome potential there. But I think this year she wanted to have a first grade spot. And she was probably a bit of a fringe player in the previous season. She wanted that spot, and she showed us that she deserved that spot. And by the end, she was one of the best players that you wanted to play next to, kind of thing. She just goes hard. She talks a lot. She's committed. And she's a bit of a laugh too on the sidelines. So she was awesome to be around.
I was really impressed with Maddie Dwyer's season this year. She started with us as she came from a Division 2 side, wanted to play first grade, came to us. We put her forward and she dominated there. Then we played against Queanbeyan last season. Needed her in the back line. She ended up playing in the back line for the rest of the season. This year we had a couple of injuries. So she kind of just got thrown wherever she was needed, went forward when we needed something up there, got thrown in the ruck again a few times, but so safe in the back line. Every single time the ball's coming down there, you just 100% back her to win the footy, outmark her player, and then finish the footy off nice and cleanly in a just a safe disposal, safe as houses, and it was so reliable. Just really had an unbelievable season this year. So, yeah, disappointing that we couldn't have seen how she went in finals. She really was. Had a really great season in our back line, in our forward line, and in our midfield.
Ever since we had both of you on the show last year, obviously, Amber, you've had the cup, the Premiership Cup. Now, where is that Premiership Cup at the moment, and do you still have it?
No kidding.
Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, I've still got it. It's actually the anniversary of us winning it this coming weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it would be pretty rude for me not to have it still when our season's
Have a drink out of it.
cancelled. But yeah, I still got it. It's still sitting above the TV at home. Yeah. We were actually talking about that the other day, but yeah, still got it. I'm looking after it.
So the question I asked the last couple of times I've had both on the show, has the club ever asked for it?
Nah. We haven't really got anywhere to put it at the club. So it's probably safest with me, I would say. Yeah, no, they haven't asked for it back, and we're getting into the start of finals, and not even AFL Canberra had asked for it back. So, so I think if we didn't win, I was going to have to be presenting it to the Premier this year. Yeah.
So you would have got a free entrance anyway to the game, so because you had the cup.
Yeah, well, probably. That would have been good. Yeah, but yeah, no, I still got it at home. Still just sitting above the TV. No one's asked for it.
Oh, that's fantastic. At least you get hold on to it for another year. We'll finish off with a couple lighthearted questions. The first one is, who had the most embarrassing moments on the field this season, and what was it?
Oh, I don't know. There was one. It was kind of bad, but it was just Lucy Knox, one of our girls who played twos for a couple of years, had a debuted for us this season, and I just remember her running through the midfield. This girl had the footy and kicked it so hard into her face. She'd been shot, and so the way I think she actually got concussed really by that. She ended up saying she had a concussion from basketball the next week, but I reckon it was because of that. I've never seen someone get kicked by a ball in the face so hard. It was so hard not to laugh, but not great. And it was terrible on the game review after the game as well.
I was going to ask that, yeah.
Yeah, she just kind of had to lay there a little bit. But I think that was probably one for me. If that was me, I'd be in my shell a little bit after. There's been a lot, but that's just one that sticks in my head.
Stuff like that's the funniest, I reckon. I remember once I was pushed in the back and then was falling forward or something and head butted the ball and then basically hit the butt. I was like, this is chaos. And Tash helped me up and she was just like, do you play sport? It was embarrassing.
You coordinated.
It's pretty silly.
So clean Falcon. So who's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team?
Best dancer.
Zoe.
I think you might have said this before. It was probably Tora. She'd probably like to chuck herself in there for best singer as well. A bit of Shallow on a few footy trips or karaoke nights or before games, after games. during games probably.
Whenever she
Yeah,
can.
I'm sure she'd be the one that would like to take the credit for best singer dancer there. Yeah, who else have we got? Comedian. Tell you what, Shay Crush was pretty funny. She cracked me up.
She's pretty
Some of the
funny.
things she does. She's probably one of the ones that would have done a lot of embarrassing things throughout this season
Absolutely,
as well. Yeah, she's a pretty funny one to have on the team. Very lighthearted and yeah, she's a bit of a cracker. So lucky to have her on the team. In a few ways, for a bit of a laugh at her, but a bit of a laugh with her. Yeah.
Is there anyone on the team into their TikToks?
Does anyone make them? Do you?
Anyway. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the young girls do. Shay, I've seen a couple. Zara, I've seen a couple. Zara does that one where she, I don't even remember, but Eleni, I've seen a few from Eleni. I think Eleni ended up putting one on our Instagram story for the Magpies.
That was cool.
Yeah, maybe Catherine, I've seen a couple. Yeah, I don't really get on TikTok much unless I'm just like bored. It's like 10:30 at night or something, 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh,
kill a few hours.
Yeah, but that's about it for me. I don't really make any. Yeah, probably those girls.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you in the show. Obviously, we were supposedly meant to come up to Canberra throughout the year to watch you play, and unfortunately that hasn't happened due to our lockdown. Obviously now your lockdown as well, and hopefully next year's a different story where I can actually hopefully come up to the nation's capital and obviously get to watch both of you play and your teammates as well. And let's hope 2022 is a better year than this year, especially at least hopefully you get a full season in 2022.
Yeah, that'll be a good start. Yeah, great. Thanks so much for having us again. It's been fun.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
No worries. And of course, that's our ambassadors from the Belconnen Magpies Football Club in Amber and Jackie there joining us. Of course, if you want to be involved out there at the Magpies Nest in 2022, of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about buying the Magpies next season. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.